If you are just getting started on your debt-free journey and don't even know where to begin, this video is for you. Hey guys, welcome to Baby Stepping to Freedom. My name is Allison, and I share all about our financial journey and give you tips and tricks to help you be successful in your journey. If that sounds like something you might be interested in, make sure you scroll down now, press the red subscribe button so you don't miss any upcoming videos. So a common question that I get all the time is, quote unquote, how do I get started? And it's a hard question to answer with no context. So I'm assuming getting started means from scratch. Got nothing in place. Nothing. And you need to know, how do I get started from here to get to here? So this is 5 steps to help you get from here to here. So the first step that I tell everyone who is starting out on their journey is to read Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover. It is a life-changing book, in my opinion. I feel like even if you choose to not follow the baby steps exactly, having that background and understanding of a financial journey, especially when you're starting from scratch and don't really know what to do, is so helpful. The book is written in a way that's easy to understand. It's straightforward. It is not like cushy and feel good happy. It's like, you need to do this if you want to get here. And it gives you principles and reasonable steps to get there. I will say, for someone who has followed the Dave Ramsey program for over 3 years now, as we get going, we start seeing, okay, maybe we don't exactly agree with this principle, or maybe we want to change the way that we do this. But the overall foundation of Dave Ramsey's baby steps has helped us pay off $125,000, save a $30,000 emergency fund, pay off our house early, cash flow cars, do all of these things that maybe if we were following a different financial plan, we would have more money or bigger things or whatever it is. But the Total Money Makeover is the key to our financial success of where we are now. If we would have read something more complex about investing or doing all of these things or credit card hacking or whatever it is, I don't think that we would have been successful, because we started at a place where we felt so low and confused and buried that we didn't even know where to start. And so reading the Total Money Makeover gave us something to start with. And yes, we're kind of changing our ways as we go, but it made us so successful in the beginning. As a matter of fact, I always keep at least 1 copy, if not 2, 3, 4 copies of the Total Money Makeover on my shelf. And I give it out to people like all the time. Someone like in my life that I have actual physical contact with says, how do I get started? I'm like, here you go. Here's a book. This one I'm not giving away, because this is our special signed one that we got during our debt-free scream from Dave Ramsey. So this one we keep forever. But I have another one that I give out to people when they're asking for suggestions. Actually, this one I think is signed too. But this one is being saved for the next person in my real life that asks me how to get started. That is how passionate I feel about this book. There are other Dave Ramsey programs, Financial Peace University being one, and we did take that. We took it about a year into our debt-free journey to just kind of help us stay motivated, but I personally don't think it's necessary. If you have the chance to take it early on, it is essentially an expanded version of the Total Money Makeover. There's more information. It's definitely helpful. I don't think it's a waste of time, but if you just want something quick, easy to read, you can get through and get started, the Total Money Makeover is where it's at. So if you haven't read it yet, check out your local library. You can probably get it for free from their audiobooks. You can listen to it on your drive to work, or in the description box below, I have a link to buying it on Amazon. It's a pretty cheap book. It's usually around like $15. Sometimes it's more than that, but I think on Amazon right now it's like $15. Okay, so you bought the Total Money Makeover, you read the Total Money Makeover, and now you're trying to figure out what to do. So next step is really think about your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you making the sacrifices that you're about to make? And what is the bigger picture? Because if you don't really know what your bigger picture is and what your goals are, it's real hard to keep going and stay motivated. So think about your why, write it down. Why am I doing this? Why am I making all of these hard decisions that I'm making? It's got to be more than just, I want to be rich. I mean, that can be it. That's fine. But you're probably going to need more than that to keep you going for the long term, especially if you have a mountain of debt like we had. The next step after reading the Total Money Makeover, finding your why, the next most important thing are kind of like in list of, they're all important, but starting from most important to least important, I guess, is to make a budget. You cannot do anything related to a debt-free journey if you don't have a budget. You have to know where your money is going. So often people are like, I don't know where to start because I don't think I have any money left over to put towards debt. Well, of course you don't have any money left over because you don't have a budget and you don't know what you're spending your money on. In order to cut expenses and start sending money to debt, you have to know what you're spending your money on. And a budget is how you do that. So check out my video on how to start your very first budget. It's broken down into super simple steps where you can start writing your very first budget, which will probably change over time, but you have to start somewhere. You have to have a budget or this is not going to work for you. Number 4 in our 5 ways to get started is to list out your debts. When we got started, we had no idea how much debt we actually had. We knew we had a lot and we knew it was like all over the place, but the total number was a shock to us. We wrote it down. We had $125,000 of debt. How did that even happen? Like, we had no idea. It might seem crazy to think that someone can have so much debt and not realize it, but it's not very often that you sit down and add it all up, and especially when you're pretending that it doesn't exist. So looking at your debt in the face, knowing exactly what you have, exactly where it's at, helps you create a plan to get rid of it. And the plan that we followed, that Dave Ramsey suggests, is the debt snowball. I have a more detailed video on the debt snowball. Check that out, but basically it's listing your debts from smallest to largest and paying them off in that order. It might not make the most sense as far as interest rates go and saving the most money on interest and all that kind of stuff, but what Dave Ramsey says is if it was about the math, you wouldn't have gotten in debt in the first place. You just used your credit card to pay for $10 worth of Taco Bell, and by the time you pay it off, that $10 meal is now $50. That doesn't make any sense. If it was about math, why do you even have the debt in the first place? So the purpose of the debt snowball is to keep you motivated. When you have a $1,000 credit card at your smallest and a $75,000 student loan at your biggest, that's kind of essentially where we were. Our smallest loan, I think, was $3,000. Our smallest debt was about $3,000. Our biggest debt was $45,000. If we would have started at that $45,000, it would have been really hard to stay motivated as we saw that number get smaller and smaller. It would have taken so much longer, but instead we paid off the $3,000 loan to start, and within a very short period of time, we're like, whoa, we just got rid of a debt, and we felt motivated and we kept going. And so we moved down the debt snowball and it kept up our motivation as we were accomplishing something and getting rid of debt and freeing up money as we got rid of our minimum payments. There are other ways to pay off debt, like other orders. The debt snowball is what I would recommend. The debt avalanche is paying it off by most interest to least interest. But I personally think that a debt-free journey is all psychology. It's about keeping yourself motivated and focused towards bigger goals that take a long time. And sometimes you just have to pay a little bit more interest in order to stay motivated, because if you start following a different plan and you fall off track, well, you're gonna pay more interest because now you fell off track and you're not making any progress. So setting up a plan for yourself to keep you motivated is huge. And that brings me to number 5. Create a plan to keep yourself motivated. So yes, debt snowball helps keep you motivated, but something like finding a group of people to talk to that understand and know what you're going through. That's when I found the debt-free community on Instagram, and I started talking to people and sharing our journey and seeing other people's journey and connecting with people who had similar goals. I was able to be so much more motivated and stick to it because I found a group of people who understood. Also, if you need rewards to keep yourself motivated, then work in rewards. Like I said, this is all about the psychology and keeping yourself on track. It's not just gonna happen. Dave Ramsey says you can stumble into debt, but you sure can't stumble out of debt. So you have to stay motivated, you have to stay focused, and you need to create a plan that helps you do that. So for me, it was finding a group of people that I could talk to about what we were doing, share our journey, talk about the good things and the bad things. And that is really how Baby Stepping to Freedom got started. I found Instagram. I realized that I had a passion about talking about this stuff, and it's only been up from there. So those are my 5 action items for getting started on a debt-free journey. Read the Total Money Makeover, find your why, create a budget, list out your debts using the debt snowball, and find something that keeps you motivated. If you're in your debt-free journey and people ask you how to get started, let me know what are some tips and tricks that you tell people in order to get started on this journey. It might be helpful for other people who are watching this video that need some other ideas. Thank you for watching and spending this time with me. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you can find some success in your financial journey. I'll see you next time. Bye.